friends, and welcome back to math. Once again, I'm going to kind of get out of the screen so you can see our board here. Now, today's lesson, we're going to be doing lesson 7.3, which is a fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. So before we begin, let's go over what a unit fraction is. In your mind, think about what you remember about a unit fraction. And this is your hint. It's like 1 over b. So say out loud what you think a unit fraction is. So if you said a unit fraction is any fraction with 1 in the numerator, you're correct. So a unit fraction can be 1/4 or 1/8 or 1/10 or 1/64. Whatever a unit fraction, it's going to have 1 in your numerator. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind for today. We'll go to multiples next, because today we're going to be working with fractions as a multiple of a unit fraction. So we're going to be working with unit fractions where we have 1 in our numerator, and we're also going to need to think about multiples. Now, multiples, a lot of times we mix up with factors. A multiple is a number times another number. So, for example, the multiples of 2 are, we're going to list 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. So the multiples of 2, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 5, 10. So on. Those are the multiples of 2. Now the multiples of 7 would be 7 times 1, 7. 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 4, 28, and so forth. Now, if I were then to bring in fractions, and I would say, what are the multiples of 1/6? You would think of it like this. 1/6 times 2, or 1/6 plus 1/6, is 2/6. 1/6 times 3, or 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, is 3/6. 1/6 times 4, or 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, is 4/6. So those are just different ways we can get multiples. So today we're going to be talking about unit fractions with 1 in our numerator, and we're going to be working with multiples. Okay, so let's try this word problem out. Megan needs 1/4 of a cup of almond milk for her smoothie. How much milk will she need for 5 smoothies? Well, we know she needs 1/4 of a cup for one smoothie, and she needs to do that 5 times. So we're going to be doing 3 things here. We're going to be writing an addition equation, we're going to be writing a multiplication equation, and we're going to be answering this question. That's what you are going to be doing today as well. So first, an addition equation, I need to add 1/4 5 times because she's making 5 smoothies. So I do 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/4. Now, we know that this is more than 1. And since that's more than 1, we are going to convert it. So I'm going to ask you, anytime you get an answer over 1, to try and convert. So I know 4/4 is 1 whole. So that's 1 whole, and 4/4 plus another 1/4 would get me 5/4. So that's 1 and 1/4. I can also do, how many times did I add 1/4? 5 times. I can also do 5 times 1/4, and I know when I do this, I do my whole number by just the numerator, 5, and I'm still working with fourths. Same as 1 and 1/4. See how I get the same answer? Now, the last question is, what is the 5th multiple of 1/4? So that's like saying I start with 1/4. 1/4 times 1, 1/4 times 2, 1/4 times 3, 1/4 times 4, and 1/4 times 5. So what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? The 5th multiple of 1/4 is 5/4. 5/4, the same as my answer. So we solved the problem using an addition equation and a multiplication equation, just like we did last week. Okay, now let's talk about what we would do if a picture like this showed up. So we have a number line, And our number line is going from 0 to 1 and still continuing on. Now on our number line, each tick mark is representing 1/4. So our unit fraction on this is 1/4. 1/4, everyone is 1/4. Now if you see the picture up here, we're starting at 0 and it's going over 1, 2, 3 times. And every time it goes over, it's going over 1/4. It's going over 1/4, another 1/4, and another 1/4. So let's think, okay, what is my addition equation we can use? Well, we are going to be using unit fractions for this. So my addition equation is how many times is 1/4 going over? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do 1/4. We're going to add another 1/4. And then we're going to add one more 1/4. And if I count this up, 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. Now another way I could do this is how many times did I move over? I moved over 3 whole times. And what is my unit fraction that I went over each time? 1/4. And I know that when I multiply my whole number times my numerator, which is 3, and my denominator stays the same because we're still working in fourths. Once again, my two answers match up. Now, thinking about multiples, what is the third multiple of 1/4? Well, 1/4 times 1 is 1/4, 1/4 times 2 is 2/4, and 1/4 times 3 is 3/4. So what is the third multiple of the unit fraction 1/4? 1, 2, 3. The answer is 3/4, making you realize you just found the third multiple of 1/4. And that's really our lesson today, using equations to answer problems with unit fractions and thinking of multiples. Now I'm going to show you something else that's going to come up. So watch this carefully so you understand how to do this today in your assignment. Now let's try this one together. So you're going to be answering out loud while I say these, okay? So your direction in your assignment today on one part is going to say, write the fractions, these fractions, as multiples of unit fractions. So if we know we're working with unit fractions, one of these lines has to be a unit fraction. And we know a unit fraction is 1 on the numerator and a number in our denominator. Now, if we're talking about multiples, we know that's going to be a whole number. So we're saying 6/12. What multiple is 6/12 if our unit fraction is what? What would our unit fraction be for this if we have 6/12? Say it out loud. Yes, our unit fraction would be 1/12 because our denominator stays the same. Now, what times 1/12 would be 6/12? Think in your mind, multiples of 12. 1/12, 2/12, 3/12. So what multiple of 1/12 would get us to 6/12? Say it out loud. You should get 6, because let's think about it. What is 6 times 1/12? 6 times 1 is 6, and our denominator stays at 12. Do you see that? Unit fractions. Our unit fraction was 1/12. And what multiple is this? It's the 6th multiple of 1/12, because think about it. 1/12 is the first multiple. Times 2 is 2/12, second multiple. Times 3, 3/12, third multiple. Times 4, 4/12, fourth multiple. Times 5, 5/12, fifth multiple. Times 6, 6/12, sixth multiple. Try this one. 7/6. What multiple times the unit fraction? What is our unit fraction if our answer is 7/6? Say it out loud. Yes, our unit fraction is 1/6. What times 1/6 would get us 7/6? Figure that out. And our answer would be 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 6. Think about it. The 7th multiple of 1/6 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 and times 7. 7 multiple of the unit fraction 1/6. All right, this one you're doing on your own. Figure it out in your mind. What whole number times what unit fraction is going to give us 12/8? All right, our unit fraction is 1/8 because we're keeping the eighth. And what would we multiply by 1/8 to get 12/8? 12. 12 times 1/8 is 12/8. 12 times 1 is 12. Eighths stay the same. That will be part 2 of your assignment today. Okay, this is going to be the last part of your assignment today. So look at these directions. These directions say, complete with a unit fraction. If we need to write a unit fraction, think about what all of these answers are going to have in common if it's a unit fraction. Say what all of these answers are going to have in common out loud. If you said all of these answers are going to have 1 in the numerator and something in the denominator, you are correct. So let's look at this one. This says 4/5 is a multiple of the unit fraction. What unit fraction would go with 4/5? Say it to yourself. The unit fraction would be 1/5 because it's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. This would be the fourth multiple of 1/5. Let's look at this. 12/6 is a multiple. We don't know which one yet, but it's a multiple of the unit fraction what? What's the unit fraction for 12/6? Say it in your mind. The unit fraction is 1/6. And what multiple is it? 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6, 7/6, 8/6, 9/6, 10/6, 11/6, 12/6. This is the 12th multiple of 1/6. Let's look at this last one. It says 3/8 is the third multiple. It gave us which multiple of it is of the unit fraction what? What's the unit fraction of 3/8? Say it to yourself. And the unit fraction is 1/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, the third multiple of 1/8. And that's our lesson for today. So this lesson wasn't hard, but it gets you thinking. Okay, remember, a unit fraction is 1 in the numerator over a denominator, and multiples is when you take a number, a given number, and you multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So as you're doing your work today, if you're getting a little confused, come back to this video and go to the part of the lesson in the video that matches the part of the work that you're doing. Good luck today. If you have any questions whatsoever, either shoot me an email or put a comment, and I will gladly help you. Happy solving!